to give it up. What she did.
Spoiler warning. Beyond the Wasteland ending isn't just shocking, it's a lie. Buckle up, because this breakdown will rewrite everything you thought you knew. Suddenly, a zombie virus spread across the entire city, leaving only a few people alive. The worst part was that all the children born after the outbreak were infected with the virus at birth. Was humanity on the verge of extinction? That is what this story reveals. It begins with a small boy named Mark, who has lived with his father in a deserted forest since childhood. Mark knew nothing about the outside world. He had no friends, and his father rarely spoke. The only things his father ever taught him were that zombies lived outside the forest, and that the remaining humans were even more dangerous than zombies. Each day, his father went hunting and left Mark with a gun for protection. That Mark's childhood was spent reading books and listening to songs. His storybook had grown old and worn, but he still loved it. In that book, there was a mention of a magical fairy, and Mark believed in it. Since birth, he had a mark of M on his hand, and because his name also began with M, he thought it was a magical sign. One day, while wandering in the forest, Mark saw a van. Afraid someone might be inside, he didn't approach it, but he couldn't stop thinking about it. The next morning, while fetching water, he gathered the courage to step inside. The van was surprisingly clean, and children's toys were scattered around. He realized someone must be living there. Suddenly, a shadow appeared in the darkness. Mark was terrified, but when the figure came closer, it turned out to be another child. The child kindly handed Mark a toy, signaling a desire for friendship. In return, Mark offered his headphones. At first, the boy was hesitant, but once he heard the music, he smiled. They were the same age and quickly became close friends. The child's name was Me, and she had a warm personality. Soon, Me had to leave, but before going, she gave Mark her favorite toy. As Mark headed home, he felt as though someone was watching him. A woman with a gun suddenly appeared. She seemed threatening at first, but when she saw the toy in Mark's hand, her demeanor softened. She gently told him to return home quickly and even gave him wild fruits. Mark realized she must be Me's mother, as she recognized her child's toy. Back home, Mark hid the toy. But since he had forgotten to bring water, his father scolded him. Mark tried hugging him, but his father pushed him away. Over time, Mark met Me's mother several times. Her kind words reminded him of the mother he never knew. One evening at dinner, Mark finally gathered the courage to ask about his mother, but his father stayed silent. Later, Mark secretly watched through the window and saw his father watching an old video. The next morning, his father went hunting as usual. Suddenly, there were gunshots and screams. His father told Mark to hide while he went to investigate. From the bushes, Mark saw Me's mother wounded on the ground. To his horror, his father walked up to her and shot her. Shocked, Mark ran home and pretended to sleep. That night, his father returned in a bad mood, muttering, "He has come. He has come." Mark tried to ignore it by putting on his headphones, but the unease only grew. When his father fell asleep, Mark secretly watched the video camera. It showed old family memories when they were happy. He even saw that he once had an elder sister. In another video, his mother appeared scared, whispering, "Mary John, my son, I love you," before his father's angry voice cut the recording short. Mark began to suspect that his father had killed his mother. Fear and doubt grew inside him. That night, while his father slept, Mark handcuffed him, packed a bag, and ran away. He found Me and urged him to escape with him. Me hesitated, wanting to wait for his mother, but Mark revealed the truth. Hurt and emotional, Me hugged him, and for the first time, Mark felt the warmth of belonging. Together, they set off but soon sensed danger. Mark's instincts, sharpened by years with his father, told him zombies were near. Hiding in bushes, they narrowly escaped. When zombies kept appearing, they ran until they found an old, broken car. Hiding inside, they were quickly surrounded. Just as it seemed hopeless, gunfire rang out. Zombies fell one by one. The car door opened. It was Mark's father. After waking to find Mark missing, he had broken free of the handcuffs, tracked his son's trail, and arrived just in time. Relieved, he carried Mark in his arms. But when more zombies approached, he set Mark aside and fought them bravely. Watching from afar, Mark realized his father wasn't as heartless as he had thought. But soon as zombie attacked, biting his father's hand. Though he killed it, the damage was done. Knowing he would turn, his father sat beneath a dry tree and confessed. He explained that Mark's mother had also been bitten, but unlike others, she didn't turn. She was special, almost like a fairy. Soldiers had taken her away, which was why he had lied. The mark on Mark's hand was proof that he too was different. Realizing his mistake, Mark hugged his father, but it was too late. The infection spread. In his final moments, his father urged Mark to run. Soon, he turned into a zombie. A gunshot echoed in the distance. Mark knew his father was gone. Now, with only me by his side, Mark continued onward. They met an old man near a railway track who gave them food and encouraged them to find hope. He admitted his own children had turned into zombies, which broke his heart. He admired the two boys for surviving. After saying goodbye, they followed the railway until they reached a broken train. But inside, zombies lurked, ran. Armed men captured them and took them to a factory run by a gangster. The gangster was amazed to see healthy children. Believing me to be angelic, he kept him alive but ordered Mark's death. However, one sympathetic goon secretly freed Mark, believing the world needed more survivors. That night, Mark returned to rescue me, and together they escaped. The next day, the gangster's men tracked them down. Just when all seemed lost, a drone attacked, killing the goons. Soldiers emerged, and while Mark wanted to reveal himself, me sacrificed himself by drawing attention away, saving Mark's life. Heartbroken, Mark realized his father's words were true. Humans were often more dangerous than zombies. Mark wandered into a ruined city, determined to find his mother. Inside a building, he thought he finally saw her. Overcome with hope, he embraced the figure, only to be bitten. She was a zombie, not his mother. Devastated, Mark ran, shutting the door and crying. His last hope shattered. Moments later, a broadcast played, calling survivors to a camp. Soldiers appeared, killing nearby zombies. When they noticed Mark's bite, a female soldier approached. As she reached him, she saw the M mark on his hand. Shocked, she ordered her team not to harm him. People with the mark, she explained, were immune and carried special powers. And with this revelation, the story ends. The ending of Beyond the Wasteland tricks you into believing the final twist is the ultimate truth, but hidden details prove otherwise. Subtle clues scattered throughout the story reveal that what we saw was a manipulated version of events, not reality. The so-called truth was designed to mislead both the characters and the audience. Once you piece it together, the entire narrative flips on its head, showing that survival wasn't about defeating the wasteland, but about uncovering the lies within it. Think you could survive beyond the wasteland world? Tag a friend who'd fail miserably. Don't forget to subscribe, unless you're scared of the truth. Our next video reveals the lie the director tried to bury.